Hi all. So in this section we will see about solidification of molten metal. Solidification of metals. In the previous sections we have seen about casting, how a casting part is made by using molds, gates, runners, sprues, parting lines, right? And after the casting part is made, that part has to be cooled in order to withstand chemical and physical properties of that part. So that cooling process we call as a solidification, right? So generally pure metals, so we are taking only pure metals during the casting process because the casting part has to be strong enough. So these pure metals consists of high melting point and good electrical conductivity. These are the properties. It has high melting point and it has good electrical conductivity. Next, pure metal has a thermal conductivity. So these are the main characteristics of a pure metal. It has high melting point and good electrical as well as thermal conductivity. Next, it has better corrosion resistance. It has less yield point. Yield point will be less, or we call as a yield strength. Yield strength will be less in pure metals, right? So these are the some of the properties of metals. So since the pure metal has high melting point, we feel some difficulty in making a casting. So difficulty in the sense, during pouring, because of high temperature, we feel difficult during pouring time, pouring of molten metal into the mold or into the sprue, right? So next one is, it may take some chemical reactions. It may take some chemical reactions because of this high melting point, and there may be a chance of cracking. Cracking means it's just a breaking terminology. So there may be a chance of cracking because, as I said, because of this high melting point, we can't able to maintain that metal with hands or something. We have to use some tongs for pouring. Tongs are some clip like things which is used to hold. So just an example, schematic representation. These are the tongs we used to catch hold like this. The cup will be here, right? So there may be a chance of solidification errors, solidification time, because of this high melting point of metals. There may be some chances of failure during casting. So we have to take utmost care while pouring mold into the cast and during the entire process of casting, right? So if you take this freezing point curve, freezing curve we call as a freezing curve for metals. This is related to temperature and time, because as the time increases we are going to implement the casting process. So this is a high temperature zone. Right? This is thermal arrest we call as. And this is local solidification time. This is a complete solidification. And this point is called as equilibrium temperature. And we call this as a thermal arrest, right? And this is called as a equilibrium temperature. Right. So this is the place A to B. This A to B, it is the stage where liquid metal cools. So A to B, it is the stage where liquid metal, where we used to pour some hot metal into the pouring basin. A to B is called as a liquid metal stage, and B to C, it is a stage where liquid metal converts into solid metal. So from B to C, this liquid metal slowly converts into the solid metal. So at point C, we get solid metal. We call as a or casting part. So this time period between B to C, there will be a constant time. It is called as a latent heat of fusion. B to C we call latent heat of fusion. That means there will be phase change. Phase means from one state to other state, liquid state to solid state, with respect to a constant time. In this, time will be a constant. It will be set as a constant, means fixed for some particular time, some particular fixed time. This liquid metal slowly converts into the solid metal. So this period we call as a latent heat of fusion, or we call as a thermal arrest. Between B to C we call as a local solidification time, and this total from starting to the making of casting we call as a complete solidification time or complete solidification period. So this is the place where we get a solid component. So that temperature we call as a equilibrium freezing temperature. Equilibrium freezing temperature. That means that at that temperature liquid completely converts into the solid. So this is called as a, in this period there will be a phase change from liquid to solid as the time remains constant. Then as the time increases, this casting part from C to D, it is called as a solidification time. C to D we call as a solidification. In this phase, solid metal cools in order to attain some physical and chemical properties, and to withstand high stresses and loads, it has to be solidified. Right? So this is the freezing point curve for metals. Right? And here we calculate this rate of cooling as T by T. This is the formula for rate of cooling. How much cooling we get? It is calculated by the formula T by T. So this is the freezing point curve for the metals. And melting point for metals. Time, temperature, solid, solid plus liquid, liquid. A, B, C, D. Right? This is the melting point where the solid metal is converted into liquid. So in the previous one we have seen freezing point. It is from liquid to solid state. Melting point is from solid to liquid state. So it is a completely reverse of this freezing point curve. So in the previous one we have seen the curve like this: liquid, liquid to solid, next solid. So this is called as a melting point curve for metals. So in this we come across some nucleation and grain growth. So nucleation is nothing but it is related to some atoms, nuclei, just small tiny particles. So it is the process of formation of cluster of atoms. Cluster of atoms is a bunch of atoms or a small particles, number of particles of atoms during this solidification stage. So during solidification, some atoms form, or nuclei, they form into atoms during the solidification stage on the casting component. So those are called as a nucleation, and these form as a grains. Nuclei to atoms and atoms into grains. This is the process of nucleation. And the increase in size of grains, as the time increases, the grain size increases during the solidification process. So this increase in grains we call as a grain growth. Increase in grain size on casting we call as a grain growth. So what does this grain growth do? It will reduce the casting capacity or casting properties or properties of a metal. So this is nucleation and grain growth. It's the formation of cluster of atoms during this solidification process in a casting. And there are two types of nucleation: homogeneous nucleation, heterogeneous nucleation and heterogeneous nucleation. In homogeneous, these atoms or nuclei are formed on a separate surface. Separate surface on casting, a layer of surface is created. So on that, these atoms, this nucleation occurs. It's a group of atoms, right? We'll see. And what about this heterogeneous nucleation? So this heterogeneous nucleation is formed on existing surface. On existing surface of the casting component, this nucleation occurs. Whereas in homogeneous, separate layer or separate surface is formed for the grain growth or nucleation. Right? So we'll see the difference. This is just a schematic representation. Homogeneous nucleation, heterogeneous nucleation. So this entire line we call as homogeneous nucleation. In this, there are some atoms or grains in stage 1, some particular time, with respect to some particular time. As the time increases, new atoms are created. It comes to the next stage. As the time still increases, some more atoms are increased. That means atoms are going to be increased from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3, goes on as the time increases. So that is with respect to homogeneous. When it comes to heterogeneous, there are some particular set of atoms or nucleation or grains. These grains, there are no additional grains formed during this stage. Only the grains available in stage 1. As the time increases, the grain size increases. No additional grains are formed. That means no additional nucleation takes place. As the time increases, grain size still increases. So in homogeneous, new grains are formed or new atoms are formed, and in heterogeneous, there are no additional atoms. Only the grains available in stage 1, their size going to be increased as the time increases. So this is about nucleation, homogeneous and heterogeneous. So finally, there are some design considerations that are to be followed during this casting processes. First one is selection of metals. Selection of material for the casting. We have to select a material as per the requirement based on the properties, physical, chemical as well as thermal properties of materials. We have to select that, and based on our requirement. Next one is selection of cavity, whether we have to select sand cavity, metal cavity, plastic, rubber or a composite. So we have to decide based on the requirement. Selection of size. We have to select proper size of the mold or cavity. Selection of sprue. We have seen down sprue, how it should be, circular, rectangle or any other shape. So we have to see that the molten metal flows properly through the sprue in order to attain chemical properties of the metal. Selection of riser. Riser is nothing but, we have seen, it is some projection on the casting component where the molten metal stays here, and when required during solidification process, this molten metal enters into the cavity. If there are any vapors or gases available during solidification, we will release this molten metal from the riser. So it depends on the selection of riser. There are two types of risers: open riser, closed riser. So closed riser means only the internal pressure or gravity pressure. Open riser means atmospheric pressure plus gravity pressure or gravitational pressure. Next, selection of parting line. Parting line means it divides the mold cavity. It divides the casting into upper half and lower half. We call as a cope and dragon, or it divides the casting component into two halves, lower part and the upper part, or cope and drag. One is cope and other is drag. So we have to select that parting line. We should not select as we wish. It should be exactly in the middle of the casting in order to get a proper output of the casting. Selection of gates. Gates are nothing but it's a passage like thing wherein if the molten metal is not required, we can close the gate. We can close the passage of this metal by using gates. So we have to select the gates properly. Selection of runner. Runners are nothing but it converts direction flow of molten metal. Flow of molten metal direction is controlled or changed. It's for the uniform flow of molten metal into the cavity. Right? Next one is selection of filters. Filters are placed exactly before the entry gate. So this is used to purify impurities in the molten metal, some dust particles. This we call as a slag. And finally, we have to solidify. Take proper steps during solidification process. We should not solidify the metal as we wish. There are some set of regulations for each and every material. Some freezing temperature, solidification temperature, melting point, freezing point. So based on that, we have to decide the solidification process. So these are the design considerations that needs to be taken care for casting process, right? So this is about the complete view of casting. In one of the sections we have seen what is a casting methods. In the earlier classes we have seen about this and steps involved in casting. Next, patterns, molds, some sand casting process, sprues, runners, different types of runners, different types of gates, horizontal, vertical, bottom, right? Next, freezing point curves, melting point curves, nucleation and grain growth and different types of nucleations. Then finally some design considerations. That are required for or during selection of casting. So this is about the brief description about the castrates. If you like my section, subscribe, share and comment. Thank you.